This is the Good Neighbor Podcast, the place where local businesses and neighbors come together. Here's your host, Sean Preston.
Welcome, everybody, to the Good Neighbor Podcast. Today, we have a great neighbor on with us, and that's Nicole Pilger of RENU U Aesthetics. What's going on, dear?
Not much.
Is the baby sleeping? You got a chance to take a break, come on the podcast, or what?
The baby's with Dad downstairs.
Okay, phenomenal. We have a new mom on the show.
Be in his room while he's downstairs. But I might add, I didn't even plan for it to be blue behind me, but it works.
Hey, that works out. It works
Butterfly.
out. So how many breaks are you getting these days? Is this like a bit of a reprieve being able to come on the show, or are you with him? He's attached to the hip to you, isn't he?
He is definitely attached. Contact naps all the way. Yesterday was nap in the carrier while I did stuff around the house, and then wake to feed and diaper change, and then back in the carrier for another nap, and that's how the day went. So
what a life, eh? Just eating and sleeping.
Yeah. And cuddles.
How old is he now?
He will be 4 weeks on Wednesday. So in 2 days. Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. Your third?
My second.
Your second.
Yes.
Very nice. What was some differences between the first to the second? Better this go around, or?
He was not so nice in utero. Labor and delivery was a lot better. He definitely is different. We just had his doctor's follow-up appointment today. He's gaining like a champ, so he's growing way better than his sister did. So we shouldn't have any of the doctors trying to tell me to do things that I know my kid doesn't need. So that's good. But we'll see how it all plays out, because there's a lot of similarities between the two of them. And he's very curious already at almost 4 weeks of age. So we'll see.
He's growing like a champ. Maybe he turns out to be a culinary chef or something, eh?
Right? Yeah. Like it's just over 3 pounds gain in the last 2 weeks. So.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we know each other quite well and see each other out there in the business world quite often. But for listeners, not so much. So why don't we dive right into it and tell them what you do?
I own RENU U Aesthetics. We're a local day spa here in Barrie for the last 17 years. We offer full service aesthetics, manicures, pedicures, skincare, body care, so relaxation massage, body wraps. We offer waxing, teeth whitening, Botox and injectables like fillers, laser hair removal, skin rejuvenation, microneedling, all that jazz. All the good stuff.
Is quite a mouthful. I mean, you pretty much one-stop shop for everything for your skincare needs.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
So if I'm listening to the show or if I'm just a regular human being and I see, maybe I see your marketing out there, or if I'm driving by the salon, what am I thinking about when I think about your business?
A very welcoming environment. So we are not in a commercial plaza or a commercial environment in the typical way. We've converted a house into all spa. So I've always wanted a more relaxed, comfortable feel for the spa. So you could come in and just kind of feel at home. I've always taken great pride in really getting to know my clients, whether they're with me for services or with my team. It's always nice to, even if you're once or twice a year client, to feel remembered and to feel like what you've said and what was discussed in your visit, how we've gotten to know you is remembered. So that's always been a key part in me growing my business and my clientele. Yeah.
So you offer so much. Do you have any kind of specialties, or is there something more popular than another, or are you pretty much kind of just doesn't matter what it is, come in and we do everything to the max?
Yeah, so definitely we've kind of a little bit of everything. I always say that nail services are the safe service, so they're always going to be very popular. But skincare is definitely our love, our passion. So making sure that you are taking time for you, because to me, if you come in, you lay in the bed in the treatment room, it's time to just shut out the outside world, and you get just an hour to an hour and a half of just you time. You want to talk? We can talk. If you want quiet and you need a nap, sure, we can do that. But I find that a facial treatment at the spa is a good full body kind of relaxation. Yes, we're focusing on the face and the skincare, but I feel like there's more to it. It's an overall relaxation, and I always love seeing the difference in my client's skin and just seeing that kind of like kind of moment when they come down the stairs after getting dressed after their facial. And yeah, just seeing that is kind of the biggest, most rewarding thing. So
Okay, so let's unpack skincare a little bit. I have a sister who does it for a living, so I think I know a little bit more than the average man from that perspective. Being surrounded by her and being close to her. So, okay, so when it comes to skincare, obviously there's an analysis that we're taking a look at. Someone's coming to you for a problem. It's not as much as that's there for people, right? People, and you're offering it, they can come in and just get a nice facial. It's something that's relaxing. It's something for somebody to be pampered. But there are people that are out there, potential people listening to the show, that say, I've got a problem. I have acne. I have rosacea. I have eczema on my skin, not just on my face. Help me with that. So walk us through a little bit on you kind of specializing in skincare there.
yeah, so for me, I believe that it's not just what we're putting on our skin, it's also what we're kind of giving our bodies. So of course, we look at the obvious, what is presenting on the skin, whether it's the face, the body, whatnot. But there's more to it. It's not just finding out what the client is or is not doing for their, or using on their skin, but also what's going on in their life. What sort of habits do they have? What sort of eating habits, are they, is there something else deeper that is coming through on their skin? Because stress affects our body and our skin. It presents on our skin. What we ate, and it's not even what we're eating like today that's going to present on our skin. It's what did we do, say 2-3 weeks ago, even a month ago, that's now presenting in our skin. What happened in our life 3-4 weeks ago that is now showing in our skin, and how can we help that? Sometimes our suggestions can help within a 24-hour period in certain ways, but then there's other things that are going to take time, because it took time for those issues to come to light on your skin and in your skin. So it's more than just, hey, use this product because, my previous client used this product and it worked for them. It's understanding what changes we need to suggest and make to in their daily routine, weekly routine, whatever it might be, morning, night, so on. That's going to help them create changes within their skin that is not just going to be a right now and done sort of change. It is going to take change long-term in their skin.
Very well articulated. Thank you very much. That's what I was looking for. Yeah, I mean, a lot of this stuff happens, like our skin is the largest organ in our body. And what we do right now will affect us down the line, because the skin's it's gotta come up to the surface level, because we have multiple layers of it. And stress, food, too much caffeine, not enough, all kinds of different things factor into how what we're doing, what we're doing to our body, and how that then responds. And everybody's different. And we're going to get to this question. I have like some of my own, and but we'll come back to it. But like misnomers and stuff, like people think this just, okay, I'm going to come see a skincare specialist, and then like tomorrow I'm going to be like perfectly fine. It's like, no, like you'll be fine in like
Yeah, my wrinkles are going to vanish just after one facial. Unfortunately, I wish I could make that happen. Unfortunately, those wrinkles took time, or the age spots, the pigmentation took time to develop in your skin, and cellular turnover in our younger years is every 28 days. And as we get older, it takes longer for those newer skin cells to come to the surface. So it's going to take a little bit longer to see those results. You'll feel the hydration, you'll feel a bit more tightness and stuff like that, but it's going to take time, and not just coming for 1 or 2 facials a year, but if you have something you really want to hone in on and target, it's going to take a series of facials, relatively close together if possible, to as well as home care. Because really, just like going to the gym is 20% of making body changes, in our weights or whatnot, and what we eat at home is 80%. Well, what we're using on our skin is 80%. And so of course we're going to have our recommendations on what's going to work to meet the client's end objective for their skin, and help solve that concern in their skin.
Yeah, totally. 100%. So you've been at this for a long time. Is it something where you came out of high school and you knew what you were doing? What's your journey looking like?
No. So I want to say that my journey kind of started when I was in grade 8. Actually, my mom started sending me for facials at another local spa that unfortunately isn't open anymore. But so I went through my own journey of dealing with acne, and using the skincare line that this spa carried, and then using a skincare line that was promoted on TV that got mailed to us. And while that created some improvement to my skin, it stopped working after 3 months. So for me, we went back to using what the spa used. And that's where I saw the difference. And so I ended up, my skincare journey myself went through university with me and the changing of my skin. I decided that I didn't want to go and pursue my post graduate studies. So after I got my undergrad, I moved back home to Barrie here, and I took aesthetics. I knew that I was going to do that in my second year of my 3-year program. So I knew I was coming back. I was going to take that, and I wanted to be the change in people's lives, not just in their skin care, but in their overall self-care. So I am very much for the well-being of my clients, and just knowing the effect of taking time for oneself is kind of what started the business. So
very cool. I think not enough people take time for themselves. And I've had my sister gave me a couple of facials in the past. It is a phenomenal experience. And then, my youngest sister says, hey, let's go get a pedicure. So I had my first experience doing that. And now I go with my girlfriend all the time to go get pedicures. It's
fantastic.
A very relaxing experience, and not a lot of people take enough time to give that self-love. It really does make a difference. And, we're also, again, we're talking about the skin here. So taking a little bit of time to get a foot massage or to get a facial, or, that all lowers stress levels, which then in turn affects the skin in a positive way.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I witnessed growing up, my mom working really hard and having multiple jobs, and it was work and coming home and mom role and not really taking time for herself. And so I think that, on top of seeing how fast paced and stressful life can be for everyone in society, right? We've moved from a slower paced society to a very fast paced, got to do it all kind of mentality. And just, there's a lot of burnout and there's a lot of overworking. And so it really is important that people take time to look after themselves and to renew themselves.
Okay, so let's get back on this topic we're on: myths and misconceptions that exist in your line of work. Let's raffle them off.
Oh gosh, so I think a big misconception. A big misconception is going back to that you're going to come for a facial once a year and it's going to like be this miraculous change in your skin. You are going to see difference and you're going to feel difference and your skin's going to benefit for up to 28 days. But it can't be a one and done sort of thing. If you're looking for actual change in your skin, you have to be open to our advice. Just like when we go to the doctors, we're looking for specific end results to happen. And so we're going to take their advice. We're going to take that medication or that prescription to solve the issue we went there for. So when our clients come in to see us, it's definitely also important that clients are open to our suggestions for their skin. And we might have to play with it a bit, but it's going to start getting them in the right direction of what their end game is. And I think another big misconception is anybody can do skincare, or that everybody knows what their skin needs. There's a lot of things that
my God,
a lot of misconceptions kind of surround their skin. Like, I find dryness and dehydration are so overlapped in how they're looked at, but by the general public, a lot of times, in terms of you can have oily skin but be dehydrated, or you could have fairly normal skin, and because you have a bit of shine to you, a little bit of natural sebum and oil on your skin, you think you've got oily skin, and so you're using acne products, acne focused products. You have 1 or 2 breakouts a month that you think you've got acneic skin. Unfortunately, that's not true necessarily in all cases. And so it's important to have the advice, whether you just come for a consult, have us take a look at your skin, or any skin professional, but have a skin professional look at your skin so we can best say, this is what's going on in your skin. This is what I'm seeing in your skin. And let us ask the question so we can guide you in the right way to have products that, just because your best friend looks like she's got the same skin type as you doesn't mean you're going to need the same skincare products. So it's a big world out there in terms of variations to products, and what it's not a one shoe fits all kind of one product fits all approach. So
yeah, like most people don't even know what skin type they actually have. It's like your blood type. You need to know what that is so that you know how to manage that type of skin, because one product would be not good and another would be more highly recommended based off that different type.
Absolutely. And that's just it. And especially because right now a big trend a big trend is using a retinol. But what a lot of people don't realize is that retinols aren't meant for everybody. There are alternatives to retinol that you can use, that because retinols can cause a lot of sensitivity in someone's skin. And then because they get a reaction, sometimes there's clients that will say, oh, well, I've got sensitive skin. Well, I'm not seeing any sensitive skin. Or actually, here's another one. Clients will come in thinking that they've got really sensitive skin, but really what they have is a compromised skin barrier. And so their skin's dehydrated and inflamed because of products they're using on their skin, when really they just need to rebuild up and fix their skin barrier and improve that, so that then there's not the sensitivity, because dehydration in the skin can cause redness and can cause reactivity to products. You could put a face cream on, and if your skin is extremely dehydrated, you're going to have a little bit of a reaction or a little bit of sting until your skin's used to getting or receiving that hydration in the skin. So
use the word retinol. What is that?
Retinol is a vitamin A, and it is exfoliating, it's rejuvenating for the skin, but it can be very reactive. So what a lot of people don't realize is you can actually have a natural alternative, which is sweet potato extract in skincare products, which will have the same brightening effects, anti-aging effects as retinol. It's going to have, without the sensitivity. Retinol quite often will cause sensitivity. It's not a product that's meant to be used during the daytime. It can make you photosensitive to the sun. So it's usually, if someone's using that, it's recommended to use it nightly or a couple times a week. But if you use a product, say, that has sweet potato extract in it, you can use that daily, morning, night. It's not going to have the reactivity in the skin, or the potential for reactivity and sensitivity in the skin.
Yeah, I wanted to add as well too, when we were talking about like these different misnomers and stuff, like some people, don't think, they just think in their mind, it's something topically that I need. And so we discussed at length on things that, we eat that will affect our skin, but sometimes you might have to implement a regimen or a routine. Some people don't have a skincare routine, or maybe you're missing a step into your routine. And these are also things that I feel like is a misnomer, where you're going in and it's like, I'm getting homework when I leave here. I need to be truthful when I come in here, and I need to tell the truth on everything. It's like you committed a crime, like just fess it all up, share all of it, because the person who's telling you is going to be able to help you the most with your problem.
Absolutely. Like even a lot of times, like one big myth is that clients come in and they're like, well, I drink a ton of water. Well, your skin is the last organ. It's the largest organ, but it's the last organ to actually benefit from the water that we drink. So from there, what people don't realize is that they also need to be properly moisturizing their skin, like whether it's their body, their face, whatnot. If they're not moisturizing their body daily or twice daily, there's going to be transepidermal water loss. There's going to be that evaporation of moisture from the skin. And so it's important that, yes, we're drinking a lot of water, but we're also protecting and putting that barrier on the outside as well. And then another thing is, if someone has oily skin, they think that they don't need to use a moisturizer. But that's where the dehydration comes into play, is because if you're not protecting your skin and moisturizing your skin, just because you have oil, your skin, when it's really dehydrated, will actually rebound. Or if you strip too much off with a harsh cleanser or more of an astringent rather than a toner, then it's going to cause your skin to rebound and produce more oils. So it can make even more issues in the skin.
So when you're out, well, you're a new mom now, so that keeps you pretty busy. And then, and then you also have your business. And so you're really, really busy. these days, what are you doing for fun?
Mom life. But I mean, I've got a 4.5-year-old and then I've got my newborn. And so my 4.5-year-old keeps it pretty interesting. She does gymnastics. So we're getting out doing her extracurricular with gymnastics and swimming and park play dates and stuff like that. But I mean, for me, I've gotten back into reading, so that's always fun. And I always love doing puzzles when I'm at home. And what I'm most excited for is that we're going into gardening season. So in the last few years, I've gotten into growing my own vegetables, or not as much as I would love to grow, but when you're within a city, you've got the confines of your property. So growing what I can at home.
I just tacked on easy another 15 minutes. You just struck a chord with me. I am a gardener as well. So let's talk about it, because why not? I just mapped out my entire backyard. I told myself I was going to get rid of a couple garden boxes this year. I didn't listen to myself. And then, of course, I'm with a florist. So, you put us two together. And then here we go, right? So I got cauliflower, broccoli, cucumber. I've got pole green beans, 2 garden boxes full of carrots only. We're doing onion, green onion, peppers. We're also getting into peas. We got 3 pea plants. I got 7 tomato plants. 3 Romas, 2, I call them Russian tomatoes because I got them from this Russian lady, and they come from Russia. I don't know, they're yellow and they're delicious. I got to give you one this year. Remind me so you can take the seeds, because they were phenomenal, just as good as the Romas. Good for sandwiches especially. And
nothing beats a toasted tomato and mayonnaise sandwich.
Oh,
for sure.
Yeah, 100%. I don't even cook them. Like the tomatoes, I don't even cook them. We just straight up, we're eating them raw. They're going in with all kinds of stuff like that. We're getting into celery. We got chives going, and then we've got the regular herbs. I've got a lettuce box this year. So we're getting into Roma tomato or romaine lettuce, arugula, spinach, kale, you name it. We're growing it this year.
That's awesome. We started, so 2 years ago, we had our 4x8 raised garden bed that we created. And then with some pots, in the pots were our zucchini, because I grow them vertically. And then last year, I ended up with my 4x8 garden, as well as 52 pots around my backyard.
Nice.
So I definitely looked like I lived in a jungle in my backyard. So this year I'm hoping I haven't planned it out yet. That's what I plan to work on this week. I also had great intentions last year of starting my own seeds, plants from seed. Didn't make that happen. So that's the objective for this week, because I mean, my mom's already started hers, and she only started doing vegetables last year. So she's ahead of the game this year with me. And I, of course, FaceTime her on her days off, and she's showing me how much her seeds have germinated and grown and all this. And I'm like, oh gosh, I've got to get on this. So my husband has told me I'm not allowed 52 pots. We are going to figure out where we're going to put another raised garden bed. But I think we're also going to try doing stuff along the fence. And I think I'm going to go down and use my idealistic plan is both sides of my house, put a garden going down both sides of my house, a lot of the planters or the pots, and still have the maybe even more than I had last year. I don't know. I'd love to have more. But we had like romaine, red and yellow peppers, green peppers, 2 different kinds of tomatoes. We had onions, green onions, red onions, beets, celery, zucchini, beans, a ton more. So yeah, I'm excited for that.
Yeah, I also forgot to mention we're doing cauliflower, radish, zucchini, eggplant, and we're trying our hand at doing bok choy this year.
We've done cauliflower both years. I only got something about this big last year, which was more than I got the previous year. So I don't know. I might still try cauliflower. Broccoli, we actually got some where we were able to have a dinner. But so we'll see. We'll see what I attempt this year. Radishes will be thrown into the mix as well this year.
We got into starting from seed, and we went to Liquidation Nation, and I got a deal on one of those, those little machines with the pods. It's got the water hydroponic thing with the light. So I think it has like 6 slots. So we were messing around in the winter. We were able to grow our own basil and stuff like that.
That's awesome.
Dill and all that stuff, thyme, all that stuff. And so we started from seed. While the light's big enough that it comes in that little container, so you can put all your pods in there and then close it, and then it just kind of germinates itself. And we had everything going, and it's starting to get nice. We're like, hey, why don't we buy one of those like greenhouses? Like the little baby ones. We just got a little tiny backyard. And so we did, and I put it together. It was easy to put together. We threw all our seeds in there, and I didn't tie it to the railing, and we had one wind thing, and we lost everything. It just toppled over. So on Sunday, that's what we did for like 2 hours, was repot every single vegetable that I just mentioned and then slap it back in there. So we're good to go. We're going to see what comes from seed. And then, when it comes time to plant later on this month, we'll, if we have to go out and buy a couple things. I know some of the pepper plants will already have to go and buy them if they don't take, but all fun stuff. So now I'm going to be sending you pictures when I'm out there doing my thing.
Sounds good.
Love it. Love it. Okay. So sometimes in life, we never really get to, we try our best, I'll say, at putting ourselves on the path that we want, that we choose. And then we never know when a windstorm is going to come in, which is life, which will throw things in our way. Sometimes it knocks us down. We have to get back up. And I've said this multiple times on the show. I'm a big fan of human beings on how they're able to kind of adapt and have resilience to overcome some of these life challenges. It hardens you. And in some cases, it can make you a better person. We learn from that. But coming from, a place of intellect and being able to have silver linings and holding on to hope, I think oftentimes some of those driving factors in persevering through this stuff. And so I wanted to ask if you've ever had a hardship, a life challenge, or did you overcome that? Did it make you stronger? Did it make you better? Did you take some silver linings from it?
I tend to look at things very optimistically anyways, in my approach to things. I just think that's a really good way to look at life and things that life throws at you, the curveballs. I think within business, my biggest curveball has been the pandemic, which, once again, silver lining. My daughter was not very old when it happened, when it all started. She was about 8 months old. So as someone who's self-employed, I didn't really take much of a mat leave. So I only took a month off with my daughter. And so with the forced closures, and I have a background in women's studies from my university. So, there's always that glass ceiling, people telling me you can't do this and all this, or, things being thrown at me. That way, I just don't handle very well. Thus, working for myself works really well, because then I'm the only person that really ultimately can hold myself back. And so the forced closures, I think, was something that made me have to slow down. It was a forced slowdown, enjoy the time with my daughter. So it kind of forced me into more of a mat leave and not working. But I got to experience a lot of great firsts with her. It kind of made things stronger. It made me get creative within business too, because the way I saw it was I started off from home, very part-time while I worked elsewhere within the community, and actually 2 other jobs while I built up my business. And so I knew that the business wasn't going anywhere. So with that whole forced closure and, the being forced to not do certain things within my business, I knew that the business wasn't going to go anywhere in the long run, whether I went back to being home-based or rented a room somewhere and I went back from having a team with me to just myself and being solo again. I wasn't going anywhere, but I must say that the pandemic definitely was my biggest struggle, I would find.
And now you've broken through those
And
barriers, and
most of the public too, or most of the community, small business community, struggled a ton and through that time.
Yeah, there's some people that got away scotch-free on that, where it boosted them. Or I've had a few guests on the show where it happened at the right time for them, because they either needed a break, or in one business owner's case, it forced them to be creative, and now it actually propelled their business forward because they had to think outside of the box on how do I get my product, out to people, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
But tough for a lot of people, and happy to see that you've plowed your way through that, and onwards and upwards from here, they say.
Well, and that's just it. And I mean, it's been interesting since, truthfully, just because I find there's been a lot of shifting and a lot of change to the business since then. We had a great team. We still have a great team, but it's just shifted. There's been a lot of shift within the business, just like within the community, and a lot of businesses within the small business community, in the local community. Like you said, things, you have to get creative, and sometimes that's getting creative because of change of staff and stuff like that as well. And it is what it is. That's just part of being in business. And either way, I'm going to be here to help people look after themselves and take time for themselves. So that's the way I see it.
100%. What's one thing that you wish our listeners knew about your business?
It's a
good one,
one
eh?
thing. That is a good one. Just because we are not in a commercial space, I have a lot of people that say, "Oh, I had no idea you were even here." So just knowing that we're here, knowing that we are ready to help you, take some time for you in a relaxed environment. It's a professional, but not clinical feel. And a lot of times people just think aesthetics and they just think a nail salon, and that's kind of where it stops. But we do have the skincare side of things, and we have the body care and the wellness that way, and the skincare for the body. And there's so much more that we offer that, yeah, it's just exploring what all we have. So letting us help you kind of hone in on, even if doing your nails is not your thing, there might be something that we can help you with that helps you take time for yourself. And even it doesn't necessarily need to be in spa. It can actually be at home. If it's not in the budget to come see us on a regular basis, let us help you find a way to look after yourself and your self-care, your skin at home.
Very well said. And so now I'm listening to the show. I'm definitely interested, especially in what you just said. Teach me something, give me something of value. Let me come and check out your place and see how I can take more time for myself. Or if I have a skin issue, I definitely want some consultation on how I can move forward to move past this. What is the best way that people can reach you?
Yeah, so they can give us a call, but definitely we can be found on Instagram or Facebook. And we're located on Burden Avenue, so 140 Burden Avenue. Once again, we've converted a house into all spa, right next door to Jean's Variety, so fairly centrally located in Barrie. I find to me, as someone who has grown up in Barrie, very easy to get to no matter what part of Barrie.
Yeah, totally.
Construction dependent.
Yeah,
but,
of course.
So it's a couple blocks up from the water. So even after your appointment, you can go for a nice stroll along the waterfront. And yeah.
What's your social handles?
Yep. So we're RENU U Aesthetics. So on Instagram, we can be found at RENU U Aesthetics, and same with Facebook, facebook.com/RENU U Aesthetics.
And that is a U with a U, not a Y-O-U.
With a U, RENU, and another U, then aesthetics with an A.
Beautiful. Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show. You and I definitely in the near future will be talking a lot more gardening, and
Yes.
And as a marketing partner of ours, come July, check her out. She's going to be in the Art of Bluffs Living Community Magazine. She'll be all over Facebook, Instagram. You'll see her on Google, helping her spread that lovely message of hers. Great business, phenomenal, even more of a phenomenal person. You can't go wrong at coming to this lady for anything when it comes to the skin. And so thank you so much for coming on the show and doing this, and really looking forward to doing it down the line.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the Good Neighbor Podcast Midhurst. To nominate your favorite local businesses to be featured on the show, go to gnpmidhurst.com. That's gnpmidhurst.com, or call 705-413-3775.